Alright guys, it's time for our Danganronpa party, and you know what that means. Don't let Kamina be in charge of setting it up. Hi, it's me, Ki, and welcome to my channel. And actually, big welcome to the first episode in my Danganronpa party series. So the 10th anniversary of Danganronpa is coming up really soon, and as a long-time Danganronpa fan, I really wanted to do something to celebrate it. It's unfortunate that we're not really able to celebrate with anyone in person this year, but I still really wanted to show my appreciation for the series and do something special. So I decided I would make these videos in order to celebrate and share with you guys. Until the anniversary date, I will be uploading one video to my channel every day in order to celebrate the occasion. So if you're interested, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out. This is the first time I'm doing anything like this, so I'm actually pretty nervous right now. But I'm going to try my best, and if these videos entertain you, then I'll be really happy. I'm putting a lot of effort in, so I hope to see you in the next uploads too. So for the first episode, I thought I would make this Danganronpa tier list, because what better way to start a party than to get you all judging my opinions? Just to make it a bit more interesting, I will be providing explanations for every character and their placement. I hope that will help you guys understand my reasoning. But feel free to fight me in the comments below. I don't want anyone to take this too seriously. Again, this is just my personal opinion, and my opinion should not invalidate your personal preferences. Again, this is all just for fun, and I hope you guys enjoy my video. By the way, I should mention big spoilers for everything Danganronpa related, except for maybe some light novel characters or spin-off manga. Unfortunately, I will not be including them, but this tier list does miss out on some characters, so I will include them as a bonus. With that out of the way, let's get started and have fun! And yeah, hopefully by the end of this, you guys don't hate me.
Aw, look at him tremble! He's gonna burst a blood vessel because I dissed his waifus!
So I'll be going in order of series from Danganronpa all the way to V3. I've already rearranged all the characters into an order of, well, you know. Hopefully that makes it easy to follow along. So let me just quickly explain my tiering system. S is for my absolute faves, A, I love them, B, I really like them, C, I like them, D is my more neutral, don't really care too much, E is my dislike, and F is my hate. This last one is sort of my invalid. These are the characters I don't really feel have a sort of place on this tier list because of whatever reason. So actually, let me just fill that out quickly now. To anyone who may be unfamiliar with who the heck these characters are, I will quickly leave an explanation above them. Yeah, these characters I don't really have an opinion on, so I'm just gonna move on. So yeah, let the sorting begin. Oop 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 oop. Alright, so first up we have Trigger Happy Havoc, and let's start off with our boy, Makoto Naegi. Now, I actually really like Naegi, so he's actually in my A rank, and people might be thinking, Ki, really? Naegi for A? Isn't he super boring? And to that I say, I don't really care. I like Naegi, I think he's a good boy, I think he's a fine protagonist for the first Danganronpa game. It's been fun watching his progression throughout the series. I especially really like how his relationship develops with Kirigiri. You know, A for average maybe, but I find his optimistic attitude really endearing, so he's in my A rank. Next we have Saika Mizuno, and I do like Saika. I just feel that because she is the first one to die, there's not too much time to develop her further. Despite that, I do feel like I was able to get a good grasp of her character, her motivations and her desires, so I feel that I can understand her determination to wanting to leave the school because of all the sacrifices she's already had to put up with in pursuing her career as an idol. While her Esper gimmick is somewhat cute, it does get repeated a bit, but at the end of chapter 1 when Naegi brings it up, I do think it's a cute touch. So yeah, C for Saika Mizuno. Next we have Lyon Kawara. Ah yes, 11037 himself. Unlike Saika, I feel that Lyon, unless you decide to hang out with him, there's not too much focus on him as a character apart from his introduction. I feel like the most standout thing about Lyon is the meme his name created, and that he is the first execution But yeah, Lyon is going into my D rank because there's just not too much about him. Up next we have Chihiro Fujisaki, and Chihiro is actually going into my A rank. I really like chapter 2 of Danganronpa because I feel that Chihiro and Mondo have a real interesting clash of dynamics, and it made me feel like these characters were more than just tropes because Chihiro and Mondo's problems felt very relatable, and Chihiro was just a really sweet character. I thought the way that they tackled Chihiro's struggle with identity was really compelling, and the fact that the motive actually acts as a catalyst for Chihiro to want to change himself, I thought was a really good writing decision. He's one of those characters you just want to protect. But yeah, Chihiro is my baby, so Chihiro is in my A rank. Next we have Mondo, and Mondo will actually be in my B rank. Beef or butter maybe? I think Mondo is a good character. Just like with Chihiro in chapter 2, I think the way that they explored his struggle of self-image was really interesting. The fact that even after killing Chihiro, he still respects his secret, it just shows me that Mondo, despite his hot-headed personality, he's really compassionate inside and feels a great responsibility for his gang members. I don't know, Mondo's just a fun character, so I'm putting him in my B rank. Next up is Kiyotaka Ishimaru, and I'm going to put him right next to his bro, B for bros. I feel like Ishimaru appeals to me because of his friendship with Mondo. Like, I can't say I was particularly interested in him beforehand, but the fact that he is so upset after Mondo's death that you can't even talk to him in chapter 3, it really made me feel that the characters really cared for each other. The fact that Ishimaru considers Mondo his first real friend just makes the whole situation that much more upsetting. But at the same time, it really grabbed my attention that characters were actually mourning the deaths of their friends, which just made Ishimaru that much more appealing to me. Maybe I just like watching characters struggle and deal with emotions. But I can't say the same for what he became. Ishimaru just kind of completely changes personalities and turns into an entirely different character. And you don't even get to really get to know this guy either before he's killed. I thought it was kind of weird and sort of disrupts any further exploration of Ishimaru's grief. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. So he's going in my F. Speaking of things I don't really like, Hifumi Hamada. Yeah, he's going to my E. I just think he's kind of a boring character. There's nothing much else to his personality apart from being like a perverted otaku. I might have been more interested if he talked more about like his doujin process. But yeah, nah. And next we have Celestia Lunenburg, and I really like Celeste. I like her design, I like her motive, it's kind of funny. Who wouldn't want a mansion full of Bishonen vampires butlers? Her execution is really cool. She's going in my B rank. The only thing I don't really like about Celeste is that her plan seemed kind of stupid and obvious that it was her. I don't know if her plan was really smart. So that's her only downfall, I suppose. But otherwise, Celeste is a fine character. I think she's cool. Okay, next up we have Sakura Ogami, and I absolutely love Sakura. She is going into my A rank. I think she's such a unique character design-wise. I really loved her personality. Her friendship with Asahina is one of the cutest things in the game. The fact that she was forced into a traitor role and decided to sacrifice herself was really noble of her. I really respect Sakura. I actually have a figure of Sakura. Look at that. She's just so cool. So yeah, I just love Sakura. She's a great character. And I was sad to see her go. Next we have Aoi Asahina, and yeah, like I said before, her friendship with Sakura is really, really cute. I like that she's a really energetic, fun, bubbly girl who's athletic and she loves donuts. The only downside is that I feel that she doesn't get much characterization apart from that. I think half of her free time events are about food. I don't know, it might have been cool if she had talked about Yuta a bit. But yeah, I do like Aoi, and she's going in my B ranks. Next we have Yasuhiro Hakukuri, and had this been any earlier year, I would have definitely put Hakukuri in my F. I did not like him at all. I wondered how he survived and was still alive in DR3. I also wondered why, out of everyone, he also got a light novel. It's taken a long time, but I feel like more recently, I just find him more tolerable now. I think he's actually kind of a funny, hilarious character. So yeah, he now gets my pity D rank. Next we have Kyoku Kirigiri, my waifu. Yes, Kirigiri is getting my first S rank. She is so cool. I love her story. I love that she was the first mysterious character. I feel like if not for Naegi, Kirigiri would have definitely been a cool protagonist from her own point of view. Unlike the other heroines of later games, Kirigiri actually feels sort of more like a rival character than just a heroine. And yeah, she's just really cool. She's my S. I love her very much. And she looks good in a miniskirt. Next up we have Togo Fukawa. And this is a bit of an interesting case. There's actually a Genocide Show icon down here too, but I'm gonna have that Genocide Show icon represent her appearance in Ultra Despair Girls instead, because in the original Trigger Happy Havoc, I feel like Fukawa lacks a character arc. While the serial killer split personality is a very fun idea, I just feel like throughout the game, Fukawa doesn't really develop at all, especially at important times. They really switch her out with Genocide Show to explain lore and things like that. So yeah, I don't feel like Show or Fukawa really get good development, but she is still a fun character, especially Show. But for her appearance in Trigger Happy Havoc, I'm going to give her a C. And next up we have Biakio Tagami. Now I think Tagami is a real jerk, and to be honest, I still can't believe that after he messed with Chihiro's body, no one ever really reprimands him for it. I feel like he does get a little bit better throughout the series, but I still don't really like Tagami too much. So yeah, he's just going into my C rank, but I feel like he would call me a peasant and I would cry, so yeah, good enough. Next up we have the adorably evil Monokuma, and if you haven't noticed, I'm actually wearing a Monokuma jacket. I got it in Japan, very cute. The wonderfully iconic mascot of the Danganronpa series. I do like Monokuma. I'm going to put him in my B rank. I feel like Monokuma serves his purpose well. He's quite funny. He makes kind of perverted jokes at times. I think Monokuma's design is really well done. And yeah, who doesn't love Monokuma? Thought I might just mention my favorite Monokuma sprites. So first there's that blushy one, then the shell one, which is very sexy, and the buff guy, who's hilarious. Alrighty, next up we have Mukuro Ikusawa, and what do I say?
Fat? Stupid? Ugly? That's me in a nutshell.
I feel like before DR3 I was totally fine with the concept of Mukuro. I thought she made for a great plot twist character. Like, I'd read Danganronpa If, and I could kind of understand her mentality, that she was very dedicated to Junko, but when DR3 came around and you see her like blushing and like panting while being berated by Junko, I was like, is she like horny or something? And that kind of made me really uncomfortable. So I don't know, I feel like DR3 sort of brings Mukuro down for me. So yeah, thanks to DR3, I think I'm gonna put Mukuro in my C. But I still do think she's an interesting character. I just feel that I'm a bit concerned by her
Whore! Stop interrupting my
pleasure. And next, we have the queen of Danganronpa herself, Miss Junko Enoshima. And I actually really like Junko. I think she's really fun. I think she works perfectly as the antagonist of the Danganronpa series. And I think it's actually kind of fun that they bring her back all the time. It kind of wouldn't be a Danganronpa thing without Junko anymore. I feel like even though people are annoyed by Junko's constant reappearance, I feel like it was best handled in Ultra Despair Girls, and it's canonical that she personally manipulated these kids for her own benefit, unlike what is shown in DR3, which is the worst incarnation of Junko in my opinion. And honestly, had it not been for DR3, I would have put Junko in my A rank, but because of DR3 and what they make canon for Junko's personality and her just like overpowered OP-ness. I probably shouldn't say OP-ness. She's just so ridiculously overpowered, everything goes her way. It sort of just doesn't make sense anymore, because Junko is like, oh wow, despair is so unpredictable, that's why I love it, because she's the ultimate analyst. So she can read everyone's movements, and that's why she's so bored with the world. But she's like, despair is so unpredictable, but doesn't her plan go like flawlessly? So it kind of, I don't get her logic anymore. I don't know, DR3 is just weird, I don't enjoy it. Unfortunately, it is kind of like the most in-depth canon exploration of Junko's character. I'm going to give her a B. Yeah, I would have given her an A had it not been for DR3. honestly, she could have been a C because of DR3. DR3 sucks. But hey, we finished Trigger Happy Havoc. Yay! Alright, on to Super Danganronpa 2. And first up, we have Monami, aka Usami. I think she's fine. I think her design's really cute. It's kind of fun to see like an opposite version of Monokuma. I feel like the scene that stands out the most to me with Monami is actually her scene with Komaida in the final dead room and how she kind of freaks out. It's just like, you're kind of creepy, Nagito. I like Monami. She has really positive messages, and that's nice to hear from time to time. Monami goes in the C rank for me. Alright, next up we have Mr. Hajime Hinata, and Hinata's cool. He's kind of sassy. I think he's got an interesting backstory with him being in the reserve course. He has this whole complex about being talentless, and it really messes with his self-worth and like how he even sacrifices himself for the Izuru Kamakura project. And yeah, I think he's a great protagonist. So he's actually going into my A rank as well. And I love the orange juice meme. Alrighty, and next we have Terutoru Hanamura, and you know what? He's going into my E rank as well. He can join his fellow weird-looking brother. Terutoru, I just don't really like him. He's sort of perverted, and he's like, oh, he does it for his mom? I don't know. But at least his execution is pretty good. And that's all I have to say about Terutoru. I do not like him. And next up we have Tagami, aka the Ultimate Imposter. He's actually quite a good character in my opinion, and if you read his free time events, it's all about how he struggled with having no identity but wanting to belong. But if he does belong anywhere, then he doesn't hold on to his right of being the ultimate imposter. He does have a bit more development in DR3, especially with Mitrai and Tsumiki. And I actually think it's really cute at the end how he gives Mitrai a hug. It's good for a fan, but I think it's really weird how he also reveals what he looks like. Do you guys feel like his despair version was really stupid? It's just like Tagami with the night vision goggles. Like they couldn't think of anything for him, so they just made him look like that. But you know what? Tagami gets to be in my C rank because I do kind of like him. And next up we have Hero Koizumi. Hero is a kind of a cute character. I actually didn't really care when she died at all. But reading her free time events, it's actually quite a sweet story. Kind of like Naigi, she's kind of just a normal person, which isn't too bad when you think about how the cast is also sort of exaggerated. It's kind of nice to just have like normal characters from time to time. Mahiro goes in my C rank because yeah, I just didn't really care about her much in the main story. On the other hand, we have Miss Peko Pekoyama. And I feel like, is it fair to judge a character solely based on what happens during a trial? Yeah, I guess. So, chapter 2 of Super Danganronpa 2 always gets to me. The trial always makes me cry. The execution always makes me upset because of Kuzuru and Peko's relationship. I really like Peko. I like her execution. The dynamic with Kuzuru always makes my heart break. I think it's really cute that animals are sort of scared of her, but she really wants to touch them because she likes the fluff. Yeah, I think Peko's a fine character. But yeah, the trial is what really boosts her up in my ranking. So she's actually in my B ranks. And next we have Ibuki Mira, and I really like Ibuki's design. I think she has such a cool design. I think it's so fun. I like her cheerful personality. I think she's also really such a caring person. The fact that she puts on a concert because she wants to cheer everyone up. And then the song she chooses is ridiculously screamy and like chaotic, and I'm like, the way that she dies under the influence of the gullible disease, I thought was really sad. I really wanted to see more of her. But yeah, I think Ibuki's strongest point is her design, and she's actually going into my B ranks. I would love to cosplay her someday. Actually, I would love to have her hair someday. And next up, we have Hyoko Sayonji, and this will probably be my first most controversial opinion because I really do not like Hyoko Sayonji. I'm sorry to the fans out there, but I personally, from my own experience, I just really don't like bully characters. I don't understand why she's so mean to Tsumiki, and like no one really calls her out for it at all. Like everyone just kind of enables her behavior. And like, to be honest, I don't really care about her relationship with Mahiru either. I think it's like Mahiru is kind of just being pulled on for the ride, and like I just find Hiyoko a really selfish character. I guess it would have been interesting because I know she was supposed to be a survivor instead of Kuzuru. I feel like maybe if she had more time to have a character redemption arc, like they seemed like they were planning for, maybe I would have liked her more. But for what we got, I really just don't like Kyoko. I'm so sorry. But I guess at least her design is cute. Alright, next we have Mikan Tsumiki. And yeah, I like Mikan. I feel really bad for her though. I don't know why she's bullied like her whole life. I feel like it's kind of sad that her ultimate talent is a result of her being bullied so much that she actually had to learn how to like take care of herself. Tsumiki is a fine character in my opinion. I thought the concept that she was in love with Junko because Junko would have been the first person to ever show her kindness was a really interesting idea, but DR3 kind of kills that.
My beloved was the only one that had, the only one who never hated me. They forgave my existence. They forgave my acceptance. They gave me value. They loved me. I loved them with all my heart, and they returned it in full.
And yeah, let's not talk about DR3, but yeah, Tsumiki gets to be in my B rank. But I do think her execution is very boring. And next we have Nekomaru Nidai, and he's actually one of the characters I prefer the backstory more of than how he's actually portrayed in-game. So his free time events revealed that he actually has a heart defect, but was inspired by a boy he met in hospital to becoming a team manager. So in the game, when he does change into a robot form, he's actually happy because now he doesn't have to deal with a weaker body. For yeah, how he's represented in the game and especially DR3, he is just a jokes at times, and that's really upsetting. I feel like his sacrifices for Akane are also not really taken seriously. He dies, gets revived, dies again, and gets revived again. I feel like because of that, Akane doesn't really have a chance to really mourn over his sacrifice. I still like him enough that he is in my C rank. I just feel like, unfortunately, the way he was written doesn't kind of do him justice in the main story. Next up, we have the Dark Lord Gundam Tanaka, and Gundam is a really fun character. I think Gundam is like the first Churibyo character I ever experienced. I didn't know what a Churibyo was. I just thought he was really weird and unique. I think Gundam's a really cool character. I especially like his motivations in chapter 4 and how that relates back to him being the ultimate animal breeder. I think it's cool that his experience with animals sort of motivates his own reasoning as to why he commits murder. That it's not just good enough to starve to death and you have to fight for your survival. He's a great character and I love his voice. Also, if you haven't seen yet, his English voice actor has actually done streams of Danganronpa, so check that out if you can. And Gundam is going into my A rank. Also, shout out to Gundam's 4 Dark Devas of Destruction. Got Sunday, Magaji, Jumpy, Chompy, so cute, I love them, they're so adorable. And in DR3, Gundam has like a whole bunch more hamsters and so cute. And next, I'm so excited for the next one. Ah yes, Nagito Komaeda. I think you all know, but he is my absolute favorite Danganronpa character of all time. So of course he's going into my S rank. I don't even need to explain it. I love Komaeda so much. I think he's such a unique character. I've never experienced anyone quite like Komaeda before. He's just so interesting to me. And his design, just speaks to my aesthetic. Hey, Future Key here. I feel like I didn't talk about Komaeda enough, so you know what? I'm gonna add some more right now. So I guess the biggest thing with Komaeda is his obsession with hope and how it relates to his luck cycle. His talent being the ultimate lucky student is way different from Nike just being a lottery thing. His luck is like tangible. Just the idea that a bad luck, good luck cycle is part of his like life routine and how it's taken away the people important in his life, while also giving him like ludicrous wealth. And just before the game where he's diagnosed with sort of brain deteriorating condition, but it's balanced by his acceptance into Hope's Peak. And I feel like it's just so interesting to see a character who's lived with this kind of philosophy their whole lives and how it's shaped his views on hope. And he doesn't like mind if there's despair, if it leads to even greater hope. I don't know, Komaeda is like crazy, but he's like my kind of crazy. And the way he just like messes with you in trials, just so he can have an outcome where there's like even more hope. Oh my god, chapter 5 of Super Danganronpa 2, his plan, oh my god. Whoever came up with that scenario, I applaud them. It's just amazing. It's probably one of you guys are gonna be like, wow, Ki, you're such a Komaeda fangirl. And I'm like, guys, yeah, but like, you know, I love him. Komaeda's like ridiculously smart. He's so self-deprecating. And it's really fun that like after chapter 4, when he finds out everyone is a despair and Hinata is a reserve corps student, like how his attitude changes. Oh my god, I'm just like people might find him like super annoying, but I don't know, I just like that, okay? What more do you want from me? He's like a sad white hair anime boy who's like gay.
どうか忘れないで。僕は君を、君の中に眠る希望を心から愛していると。
Also, Komaeda's unique because we actually see him in Ultra Despair Girls and in his like despair form as a servant, and I'm like, wow, we finally get to see one of these kids as a despair, and not just in like what we see of DR3, because DR3 sucks. But it's really cool that they integrated him into Ultra Despair Girls so like flawlessly, and I'm like, I know they just put him there because the fangirls want him, I want him, but like they actually made it so that he actually has a purpose to being there. His relationship with Monica and how he wants to build her into like the next real Junko, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's obsessed. And do you see that scene where like Fukawa like cuts into his legs and he falls down, and I'm like, whoa, yes. Do it, girl. I don't know. Then like the cake throwing scene, oh my god, yeah, that was for the fans, of course. Oh my god, and Komaeda's milkshakes, how could I forget that? Anyway, Ultra Despair Girls, that's a pretty good Komaeda as well. And you already know I'm gonna say it, but DR3 Komaeda sucks. He's a caricature. Oh my god, I don't know what he does. He like gets suspended, comes back after like what, how many months, and then he's like, oh hey, I know all about Junko and everything. I'm like, what? How? I don't know. What's going on? DR3 is very frustrating. So I could go on forever about Komaeda, but hey, we don't have all day. If you do want a video of me like just talking about Komaeda only, let me know, and who knows, I'll make it happen maybe. Anyway, next up we have Chiaki Nami, and I really adore Chiaki. I think she is such a cute character design, but also she's a really sweet character too. And she's actually going into my S rank as well. I really like the original idea for Chiaki, that she was an AI created to sort of heal and soothe the cast of the Danganronpa 2. But the fact that in DR3 it sort of makes canon that she was a real person. That incarnation of Chiaki I really don't like. I feel like she's just a Mary Sue. Everything just goes right for her, apart from the fact that she dies. And the fact that she dies is what sort of like triggers everyone to go into despair, along with the, you know, animation hypnosis. I just feel like, what? Because in Danganronpa 2, I don't feel like every character loved Chiaki, or at least in chapter 5 at that point, no one wanted Chiaki to die, and that was really sad, right? But it just feels really forced in DR3. I also do not like the fact that she is a real person, because in DR2 it's sort of implied that Chiaki is an AI created by Chihiro. The only good thing about DR3 for that Chiaki character is the fact that the AI is explained as the class all wanted to see her again, so that's the form the AI took, and that's actually kind of a sweet idea. But yeah, Chiaki is in my S rank because I really love her. I just don't love her iteration in DR3. Next up we have Fuyuhiko Kuzuru, and like I said with Peko, I love their dynamic in the chapter 2 trial, and especially after Peko dies, he goes through a whole character development arc where he decides to better himself. I don't know, Kuzuru is such like an amazingly written character in my opinion. Like there are times where you can see that he really wants to change, wants to be forgiven by everyone else for his actions. He deeply regrets causing Mahiru's death. And the fact that he even tries to interact with Akane when he sees her struggling with the same kind of sacrifices Nekomaru makes. I think Kuzuru is a really compassionate character. I think it's really funny that he's this baby-faced little Yakuza boss baby. I think Kuzuru is one of the better characters of Super Danganronpa 2. For me, Kuzuru gets an A rank. I love him. And next we have Akane Owari, and like I said before with Nekomaru, I feel like it's a shame that her character growth is sort of stunted by the fact that his sacrifices are not permanent, so she doesn't really have time to properly grieve, I feel like. It is a shame that her original development as the antagonist of Super Danganronpa 2 was kind of cut, so her character role was dramatically reduced. And unfortunately, that means I'm actually going to put her into my G rank. I feel like she's not a bad character, and her backstory is kind of heartbreaking. I just feel that a lot of her character growth is stunted and not explored in a way which would have been more interesting for me. Alright, next we have Miss Sonia Nevermind. And Sonia is a fun character. I think her obsession for serial killers and really weird things is funny. It's so funny that her country seems really crazy. But yeah, Sonia is a really smart character. I believe she says she knows 5 languages or something. And I think her relationship with Gundam is really cute. So for me, Sonia gets a C rank, but I think she would have been in between my B and C. I just feel like she might be lacking in a bit of some sort of character, I don't know, motivation or growth. But yeah, Sonya's not a bad character. I like her. And next we have Kazuichi Soda. And you know what? I am actually going to put him right next to Sonya. And I feel like he's going to be like, wow, this is the closest I have ever been to Sonya. But Soda is another character. I feel that his backstory is more interesting to me than his main story contributions. I don't really like that he's so obsessed with Sonya. I feel like maybe that comes from his own insecurities of being just a normal person, which is why he has such a flashy appearance. But I do think he's hilarious. The beach scene in chapter 2 where he hands Hinata that tiny swim pants thing, that's hilarious. But yeah, I do think his constant advances on Sonya is kind of creepy, especially when she's clearly not interested. You know what? I feel like I'm gonna make a really drastic change here. Give me a sec. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna turn my E tier into a simp tier. Yeah, they are all definitely simps. And I guess it took till Kazuichi for me to establish this tier. So you know what? Congratulations, Kazuichi. And I'm sorry I'm taking you away from Sonya. I hope you had fun while it lasted. Alright, and next we have
Kamakura, yes, queen!
Izuru Kamakura, aka the alternate identity of Hajime Hinata. And actually I think
Kamakura
is a really cool, edgy character. You definitely see more of him in Danganronpa 3. I think his characterization there is alright. He has so much talent that he finds just the whole world boring because nothing is challenging for him anymore. That's why Junko decides to recruit him, but she actually uses him in a way that he becomes her scapegoat. It's sort of weird to me that he is considered a despair, but it's not that he actually actively participated in being a despair. I don't really know what's going on with Izuru Kamakura, and I feel like that real lack of what he's all about is sort of what kind of brings him down a little bit. So I'm actually going to put him in my B. I like the concept of Izuru Kamakura, but at the same time I just feel like maybe there could have been a bit more to him. After Danganronpa 2, we now have 3 characters in my S tier. And yeah, of course Komaru is there, no surprise. So yeah, that's my opinions on everyone in Super Danganronpa 2. Let's continue on to Ultra Despair Girls. So first of all, we have Komaru Nagi, and I actually really like Komaru. I really like her progression through the game, where she's a girl that really lacks confidence in herself, but by the end, she accepts the fact that she is just a normal girl, but that doesn't mean she won't fight. Her relationship with Fukawa is really strong, and it's the best part of Ultra Despair Girls. Yeah, I just really like Komaru. I'm actually gonna put Komaru in my A rank. I think she's a fine protagonist. I'm putting all my protagonists in my A rank. I just think they're good for the games that they're in. And yeah, Komaru gets an A, right, with her brother. Also, congratulations on your ahoge, Komaru. Similarly, congratulations on your ahoge, Fukawa. And here's what I mean by Fukawa being different in Trigger Happy Havoc and Ultra Despair Girls, because for Ultra Despair Girls, I'm actually going to put Fukawa in my S rank. I think that they did a great job in developing her character. She actually feels really fleshed out in Ultra Despair Girls. Her relationship with Komaru, despite being one of like self-interest at first, it's really sweet to see Fukawa grow to care about Komaru, and like it's really nice that at the end of the game, she's like, I want to protect Tagami, but I also want to protect Komaru because she's very precious and important to me. And I was just like, oh my god, this is what Fukawa needed. I'm so glad. Honestly, Fukawa in Ultra Despair Girls is just amazing. I love her so much.
Let's go, lesbians, let's go! Let's go, lesbians, let's go! Here we go, lesbians. Here we go, lesbians. Come on. Oh, let's go, lesbians. Oh my god, lesbians. Lesbians, move out of my way. Rounding the corner with a bunch of lesbians. Here we are, Manhattan. Can you handle it? Oh, let's go, lesbians. Let's go, lesbians. Excuse me, lesbians coming through.
And next we have Yuta Asahina, who was designed to die because I don't think Asahina ever mentions him in any of her free time events. Yeah, and he kind of just shows up and dies. Which would have been awkward for Fukawa to later report to Asahina. She's like, yeah, I just kind of saw your brother die, so sorry. But because of that, he just kind of is in my D rank. I can't really care too much about him, apart from the fact that he is Asahina's brother, but it is cool to see him swim and him say that like Asahina is better at swimming than him, but he's like going like a speedboat, so I'm like, how fast does Asahina go? Interesting questions there. Next we have Tai Chi Fujisaki, who is Chihiro's dad, and he also dies really quickly, so he's also going into my D rank. As a character himself, it's really nice to see that he was really supportive of Chihiro. He seemed like a really loving dad, so D for daddy. Next we have Hiroko Hakukuri, who is Hakukuri's hot mom, and you know what? He gets to be with his mom because at least she survives. I think it's kind of cool that she's kind of like just like this laid back woman who's like a really doting mother though, and she's sort of got this like dangerous side to her. But yeah, there's not too much about her apart from like her giant boobs. But yeah, so that's why she's in my D rank. And next we have Haiji Tower, and you know what? He's going in my F rank because he sucks. I feel really uncomfortable by the fact that he's apparently into younger people. Yeah, and the fact that like by the end of the game he just kind of contributes nothing. I don't know. Whatever, Haiji, I don't care. And next we have Kana, and I forget her last name. She's the one who was Leon's hostage. She was actually Leon's baseball manager. She predominantly features in the Hagakure light novel, and I believe she was actually supposed to be the protagonist of Ultra Despair Girls, or at least was the design. So what we know about Kanan is that I guess she's sort of like a yandere type character where she's like in love with Leon. Yeah, and that's kind of all we know about her. She almost killed Hagakure, I remember, in the light novel, which was crazy. But yeah, she is a simp for Leon, so she goes in the simp tier. And next we have Shiro Kuma. Shiro Kuma is also later known to be part of Junko's AI, but Shiro is cute, and I really like the do-doing sound effects when he moves. So yeah, Shiro Kuma gets a D from me. Unlike Kurokuma, who is next, and I hate him, absolutely hate him. I think he's really annoying, and also whoever did his English voice, I know what you were trying to go for, but I think it's a really irritating dub to listen to because of Kurokuma. So yeah, he gets to be in my F rank. Next is Masaru Diamond, one of the kids, and he's the first one, so you don't really get too much development for him. It's really sad that he seems to have an abusive, alcoholic father, but yeah, he gets a D because, you know, we don't get to know these kids too well, especially not him. Next we have Jataru Kemuri, and similarly he's also going into my D rank because I don't really care. I thought he was really gross, some of the things he says. It's also weird that he has this whole moss thing going on. Apparently like his mom put it on him because she hated how he looks, but like when it's taken off he's like a beautiful little boy. I don't really get it. Whatever. Yeah, moving on. Next off, we have Kotoku Uski, one of the first interesting kids of the group. Her backstory is like really messed up. I feel really sorry for her. But also the fact that she has like that perverted minigame is sort of weird. But I do like her design, and I think her teeth gun is actually pretty cool. But yeah, she actually has a bit more development than the other two boys, so she's going into my C rank. I like her. Next we have Nagisa Shingetsu, and he's one of the more interesting characters in Ultra Despair Girls, and he's actually going to my B rank. I do feel sorry for him. He's the most rational kid of the group, yeah, I like his design. He has like two little devil horns in his hair. I also like the fact that in Japanese he is voiced by Killua. Oh yeah, he's voiced by Gon. I thought that was cute. But yeah, I like him, so he's going into my B rank. And similarly, I also like Monika Toa. I thought she was a fun character in Ultra Despair Girls. It's really unfortunate what happened in DR3, where they kind of just throw her character out of the window. Actually, they throw her character into space. So yeah, sorry Monika, and sorry Ultra Despair Girls. DR3 just kind of kills it, huh? But yeah, I do like Monika. I like her exploration of her relationship with Junko, where she's like, I knew Junko was using me, but like all my family hated me anyway, so I was fine to be used because Junko actually gave me attention. And you know what? Sometimes it just be like that. Actually my favorite kid, but she is also quite messed up. Alright, time for a bonus round. So in Ultra Despair Girls there's a bunch of Monokuma variants, and I just want to give a shout out to two of them in particular. So my favorite Monokuma in that game is the Bull Monokuma. He's very cute and round, and yeah, just a great guy.
Baby boy. Baby.
Really?
Looks like a baby to me.
And then the Monokuma I hate is the Jump Monokuma. He's so freaky. I hated this one so much. I never want to fight him.
Evil.
And yeah, that's it for Ultra Despair Girls. Next we have DR3, which is the thing I'm looking forward to the least. This song was copyrighted, so I have to make do and just make this funny cover. Da, 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 da. I hate this. So firstly, let's start off with Jin Kirigiri, and he gets to be in D rank because he is just Kirigiri's dad. D for daddy again. He's the first execution you ever see in the Danganronpa games. Maybe he's explored it a little more in the Kirigiri light novels. I haven't read them yet, so I don't really know. But yeah, he's the headmaster of Post-Peak Academy, but I feel like he really should do some background checks on the students he brings in. Yeah, maybe don't bring in a serial killer, or don't bring in despair. Yeah, whatever. Jin Kirigiri, a D for daddy. And next we have Daisuku Bandai, who immediately dies, so you know what, he's going in here because we literally know nothing apart from the fact that he has a high-pitched voice, so there you go. And similarly, we have Great Gozu, who lives a little longer, but honestly you don't really know much about him apart from the fact that he's on Nagi's side, and then he just dies. So you know what, I'm also gonna put him in this tier because like he really doesn't matter at all. Alright, next we have Chisa Yukizome, and actually I don't really like Chisa that much. I think she's also kind of a Mary Sue character. she's just not that interesting to me. I think it's kind of weird how she instantly bonds with her class, and they all like love her. Yeah, no, I don't really like Chiso that much. Kind of just dies really early on too. But you know what? You know what level she's in? She's in simp, because she's a simp for Munakata. And you know who else is a simp for Munakata? That's right, Juzo Sakakura, and he's also going into the simp level. Honestly, I don't really like Juzo that much. I get that he was like closeted, and he didn't want to reveal his feelings for Munakata, and I thought that was actually kind of nice. But the fact that he would choose to do that over exposing Junko and like kind of allowing her to take over the school and thus the world, and the fact that he hates Naegi because he's jealous that he couldn't get rid of Junko, I'm like, petty, man. And he kind of just dies trying to redeem himself, but at that point I'm just like, yeah, I'm just checked out. I'm whatever, Juzo. He's a simp for Munakata. We're gonna talk about Kyosuke Munakata now. And you know what? It's kind of sad because for all the characters that were introduced in DR3, Munakata is like one of the only ones that ends up surviving. So he loses like all his friends, and there's like no conclusion for Munakata. And yeah, he just is kind of a sad man. I also did not understand all the like, what is platitudes, huh? I don't get it, man. I just don't find him too endearing. But he looks like Yu Narukami, so whatever. He gets a D because I don't really care about him at all. But it is kind of sad that all his friends die, and he's just alone at the end of DR3. So yeah, he has to go there. Next we have Koichi Kizukara, who is like the ultimate talent scout or something. He's like an alcoholic and Jin Kirigiri's friend. And he sacrifices his life to save Kyoko, and that's okay, I guess. Yeah, we really don't know much about him afterwards, so I would say I really don't feel anything for him. So honestly, he would be my don't care, but there's really not much about him. I'm just going to put him in the invalid, no opinion tier. But someone I do have an opinion on is the next person, Kazuo Tengen, and you know what? I hate him. I think his motivations are stupid. The fact that like he is despair and organizes this killing game, but like it's all to get Mitrai to show off his like hope video. He just wants to brain everyone to like be hopeful, and I'm just like, how's that better? I don't know. He's stupid, but at least he can fight good. Yeah, I don't know. He kind of just sucks, eh? So F tier for you, old man. And next we have Ryota Mitrai, and you know what? I appreciate they made an animator look so dead tired, because I feel the same way. I get what they were going for with like the anime adaptation. They wanted like an animator. The anime was being used as like hope and despair. I get what they were trying to go for in like the meta sense, but Mitrai is just kind of an okay character. Actually, now that I think about it, like his relationship with the Ultimate Imposter, does that mean the Ultimate Imposter wasn't actually invited into Hope's Peak Academy? Because he does take over Mitrai's place as the Ultimate Animator, right? Junko threatens Mitrai into like, she's like, I'm gonna kill all of your classmates, but like Mitrai has literally never met any of his classmates, so it's like, how could he feel that threat? So yeah, weird. But you know what? I think Mitrai is an okay character. He barely passes, so you know what, he gets a C. The part that I like about him most is, yeah, his design, the fact that he looks dead tired because he's an animator. Yeah, that's cool with me. Artists struggle, you know. Respect your artists. Someone who doesn't have my respect though is Ruruka Ando, and you know what? She gets my F. I really don't like Ruruka. Again, it's like another bully character. I just don't like her at all. So yeah, F. I don't want to say anymore. She just sucks. Similarly, her boyfriend Sonosuke Izuyoi is a simp, total simp for her. Yeah, and he's boring too. He literally has no personality apart from being like, wow, delicious, and being Ruruka's bitch, I guess. But yeah, like that's it. He's a simp. Never mind. Moving on, we have Seiko Kimura, who's probably the only new character in DR3 I actually kind of cared about. So you know, she gets a C. I feel bad that she was taken advantage of by Ruruka, but she also bumps into Kaida, and you know what? Damn, I wish I could have bumped into Kaida. So yeah, she gets a C from me. This tier list actually missed a character, Miyaya Gekukahara, who was the ultimate therapist, but you know, she wasn't actually there, she was dead, she was actually a robot controlled by Monica, and again, because of that, she would have gone in my invalid tier. But you know what? The only interesting trivia I think about her was the fact that she apparently had a part in the Neo World program for Super Danganronpa 2. But again, it's not ever brought up in the anime, so yeah, whatever. Never mind. This song was also copyrighted, so I'm gonna sing right over it. Oh my god, I do not like Danganronpa 3. Alright, next we have Kuzuru's sister, Natsumi Kudru, and I feel like it's kind of sad what happened to her in DR3, because at least from what I remember of Kuzuru's free time events, he's actually like, my sister's very capable and she should be the head of the Yakuza clan, but in DR3 she's kind of like, I just want to be the ultimate little sister and be next to my brother, and I'm like, wow, this kind of sucks, huh? What did they do to your character? I guess they didn't do anything with her character. They kind of made her like an immortal, and yeah, whatever. It's kind of weird. I guess the only thing that kind of stands out for her is that she does have this rivalry with Mahiru, which is kind of interesting. I don't really care about Natsumi that much. Honestly, she would be an F because she's she wants to be like the ultimate little sister, which I think is a dumb talent. It would have been more interesting if she had the thing of being like, I wanted to be the Yakuza leader instead. So I don't hate her necessarily, but yeah, you know what? Put her in D for don't care about her. And next we have Sato, and you know what? Sato gets to be a simp because she is a simp for Mahiru. She kills Natsumi, and yeah, she dies shortly after because I think she gets killed by Kizuru or something like that. Yeah, whatever, I don't care about Sato at all. Moving on, I just want to quickly mention two characters from Danganronpa 0. We have Ryoko Otonashi, who is revealed to be another identity of Junko Enoshima, and you know what, she's the simp for Matsuda in this novel, so you know what, simp level. And you know what, the same thing for Yasuke Matsuda. He is the simp for Junko, so you know what, he gets to be in simp level. Now, before we leave DR3, I just want to give a quick shout out to all those kids that died in the tragedy in that ridiculously over-the-top killing scene. So all the kids there were part of Hope Speaks Student Council, and yeah, their deaths are filmed in order to create a despair video for the reserve course students to watch, and it leads to the tragedy. I feel like everyone only remembers this girl and the two that got like stabbed through each other. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But you know, gotta just mention them. Rest in peace, you kids. Also, I get people might say, oh, but you know, the brainwashing and everything in DR3, it's hinted at in DR1 and DR2, and I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, I have to accept that it is, right? But at the same time, it doesn't mean I have to like the idea that everything worked out because of brainwashing. So yeah, I give DR3 a harsh time, but everyone agrees, right, that the ending where all the Danganronpa 2 students are alive. Have you ever been more conflicted that your favorite characters are alive? But hey, the DR3 ending did give us canon Komahina. They are literally on a ship. Do you like boats, Hinata? Yeah. Do you like ships, Hinata? Well, now we are one. Bought the magazine just for this poster. Oh my god. Komahina is canon thanks to DR3, and that's that's one thing I can be happy about. We're almost there. We're at V3 now. So again, let's just do a quick refresh. I only have 4 characters in my S tier so far. I have Kyoku Kirigiri, Nagito Komaeda, Chiaki Nami, and Toko Fukawa from Ultra Despair Girls. So you will see that change in V3 very soon. I'm very excited to get into V3, so let's quickly go through the characters I'm not excited about. All the Monocubs, I do not like them at all, so they are all going into my F. I did not find them endearing at all. I found them all really annoying, especially Monofani. yeah, I did not like them at all, so they're all going into my F. Alright, here's where the good part begins, because first we have Kaide Akamatsu, and I absolutely adored Kaide. Actually, it was really sad because like I had hyped up Kaide so much before I actually got to play V3. So when I finally did, and she kind of just dies, I was very, very upset. My heart was broken. I could not recover for like a month or 2 months, and then I picked up the game again. I was just so upset. I really like Kaide. For the amount of time we get to know her, it's actually kind of fun how strong her personality is. I think it's funny that like at one point she's like, "Shut up, Shuichi," and just like slaps him. She seems to like flirt with all the other girls, which is like, oh, okay, Kaide, if that's your thing. But yeah, Kaide, I really liked her. I thought it was really upsetting when she got executed. Like, that broke me, man. That broke me really badly. So actually, Kaide is going to be in my A rank. I just liked Kaide so much. Was so distraught when she died. And then in chapter 6, when it's revealed she didn't actually kill Rentaro, I was even more distraught all over again. I was like, oh my god, you killed my wife for no reason. It was so upsetting. Yeah, for the time that she is in the game, which is not a lot, she obviously does not compare writing wise to someone like, let's say, Kudru, who would have easily surpassed her and been put in my S rank otherwise. But yeah, I guess this is more just a personal feeling of like, what kind of characters do I think about more, I guess. And next we have Rentaro Amami, who also just similarly just kind of just dies. And I know a lot of people like Rentaro, but I feel like because of how little we get to know him, even as like an ultimate survivor, I think it would have been interesting just to see a little bit more about his ultimate survivor personality, which is only seen in that one video clip that he sent to himself. I'm actually going to put him in my D because I don't really care too much about Rentaro, but the avocado jokes are funny. Although I just want to mention, it's weird to me because like Angie actually has avocados as her favorite likes. But like no one ever mentions her with avocado. Everyone only mentions Rentaro with avocado. So yeah, why? Moving on, we have Shuichi Saihara, and Shuichi is going in my S rank, which actually makes him the only protagonist character I am putting in my S rank. And I think that is due to the fact that he just has so much development in his character, from being this like weak-willed guy to being able to like really stand up for what he believes in by the end of the game. I don't know, when he's like, I reject this hope, I'm like, wow, I love it. And yeah, it's just fun to play as Shuichi. I think it's really interesting that every chapter he does end up teaming with someone different for the investigations. But yeah, Shuichi is a cool character. I like him a lot. So yeah, he's an S for me. I also think it's really funny that he reveals his ahoge under his hat. Like, oh wow, you really got us there, Danganronpa. You played us like fools, huh? And next we have Ryoma Hoshi, and you know what? He has a ways to go. I'm actually gonna put him in my C rank though, because I thought what we do get of him is actually kind of sad. Chapter 2 motive, it's like there's no one out there who would be sad if you died, and I'm like, wow, that's so upsetting. Because he finds out about Kirumi's motivation, he's like willing to sacrifice himself for it. So yeah, he gets to be in C. Good for you, Ryoma. Next we have Kurumi Tojo, and I kind of struggle with how I feel about her. I feel that she doesn't really have a personality at all. She is a maid, and that is kind of it. But everything you learn about her is just the fact that she's an awesome, excellent maid. And I'm like, why did you become a maid? That's what I want to know. And I think even like a sentence as to like how she found herself in this kind of career would have been interesting. She becomes the president of like Japan, and like they make a Trump joke there, and it's like, okay, I guess that's funny, but can I have a bit more, please? I think her execution is great. Running away, she's like, I want to live, I will not die here. It's like, that's really good. I don't know, I just feel like Kirumi is really lacking for me. You know what, I'm really sorry, but I am going to put Kirumi in my don't care, which kind of sucks because I was expecting more of her. Next we have Anji Yonaga. Anji actually had my favorite character design before I played V3. I thought she was super cute. The fact that she was an artist, I was like, cool, I'm an artist too. I hope we get along. Anji's actions can be interpreted as she's trying to become like this comforting representation for people, that she establishes this like committee because she wants to keep everyone safe. Like, that's kind of admirable, right? But on the other hand, it does feel very cultish. I'm not really sure I enjoyed where her story was going. In chapter 2, she does prioritize staying alive than siding with Himiko. I do think that's pretty funny and like good on her. And she is alright, at least she has a personality, and so I'm putting her at C. So next we have Tenko Chabashira, and I think Tenko is fine, honestly. I think her degenerate thing and like her funny faces are really funny, but the obsession with Himiko sort of creeps me out. Like, it's because like Himiko's like a performer and she really admires that, but at the same time it's just kind of like, Tenko, why are you so obsessed with Himiko? It's sort of to like a alarming degree, and like even Himiko's really uncomfortable with it. But like in the dojo scene, you can see Tenko is a really likable person. She does care about people. Tenko is a fine character. Honestly, I would have put her in my C rank. Because of Himiko, let's just put her in my simp rank. Likewise, I am also going to put Korikyo Shinguchi in my simp rank as well. I think Korikyo as a character is sort of interesting, but the whole motivation for his sister, I think it is a little weird. The incestuous undertones are sort of not my cup of tea, really. It is funny that he wanted to do his seesaw trick so bad that he decided to go with it and implicate himself a lot. He probably could have gotten away with Anji's murder, but he was like, nah, you know, one more for the seesaw. So not only is he a simp for his sister, but a simp for the seesaw. Next we got Miyu Iruma, and she's really different to my own personality. She's very vulgar and sexual, I suppose. She's very thirsty. But you know what? Miyu's not a bad character. She's just a bit much for me personally. So actually she's also going into my C rank. Miyu's like smart, but she's also really dumb. Next we have Gonta Gokuhara, and Gonta makes me cry every time. Chapter 4, yeah, the whole scenario where he can't even like remember what he did. He's so childishly innocent. He doesn't even understand like the virtual world. I don't know, it's really upsetting. The fact that like he's sort of used by Kokichi as well in that way. Gonta is actually a really likable character. I don't like bugs though, so I don't know if I would want to hang out with Gonta. But I thought Gonta was cool. Actually, thinking about Kirumi, I thought Gonta and Kirumi were gonna have more of a relationship together because she is a maid. He's all about wanting to be a gentleman. I thought that would have been an interesting dynamic, but it doesn't happen. So, you know, whatever. But Gonta, actually, he's going into my A rank. Oh, no, frick. Oh, damn. No. Put her back. How did I even do that? Oh my god. You stay right here. Gonta, you get to be in my A rank. Jesus Christ, that scared me. Gonta is in my A rank. I really like him. Especially in chapter 4, he really shines. But I found his execution really weird, and I didn't enjoy that. Next, we have Kokichi. And I think people will be surprised to hear that I don't like Kokichi as much as I like Komaeda. People might be thinking, but if you like Komaeda so much, wouldn't you like Kokichi? He's kind of like that same type of antagonistic, like your opposite kind of mentality character. And Kokichi, I think, is a really interesting character. I guess the same thing personally for me with like Tagami. Like, yes, maybe his intentions are for the good of everyone in the end. I still do not really like the idea that he felt the need to sacrifice Gonta in order to accomplish that kind of goal. It is really sad though. He does regret his actions. It was like maybe the only way. Otherwise he would have been killed and unable to save everyone else. Kokichi's motives are very complex, I suppose, and that does make him a very interesting character to try to figure out. Maybe because he is so confusing to figure out that so many people have so many different interpretations about him, which is not a bad thing. Honestly, I encourage discussions of characters, but I don't know. I just don't find Kokichi as appealing for me as Komaeda was. Don't get me wrong, I still like Kokichi. He is still going into my A ranks, but I feel like people might be disappointed in me for that. Dynamic with Shuichi and Kaito especially is very interesting. If Kokichi is doubt, then Kaito is belief. I think that made for a really interesting clash in chapter 5, especially when you do see their ideals really come head to head. Both of them decide to work together, accomplish like a similar goal. Next we have Kaito Momoda, the ultimate astronaut, and I like Kaito. I feel like he makes for a good motivational speaker. I feel like Kaito was definitely a character that was needed for Shuichi to grow, especially after Kaide's demise. I do like Kaito, so he's also going into my A ranks. I think he's a good support character. I do think it's really weird how he just trusts Maki out of nowhere though. The only time he pissed me off kind of was the fact that he did get mad at me. I'm just like, why? Dude, you get that you're upset, but you don't have to be angry and not talk to me. Yeah, Kaito is an A for me. Next character we have Himiko Yumeno, and maybe also a controversial opinion, but I do not care for Himiko. I get that she has a lot of character growth when Angie and Tenko both die. Does put in more effort after chapter 3, but I just feel like she's someone's kink. Like, she says stuff like, I peed myself a little or whatever, stuff like that. Why? Even like in chapter 6, she's still making like weird remarks. Why did they write her like this? I don't know. I really don't care for Himiko too much. She does magic shows because she wants people to be happy. It's sort of cute. I'm gonna put her in C though, but personally Himiko's just not one of my favorite characters because of the weirdness surrounding her. Next we have Maki Harukawa, and she is actually another S character for me. I really like Maki's development throughout the game. Her relationship with Kaito and Shuichi especially. It's really heartbreaking when Kaito is about to die and she's like, you're the first person I've ever fallen in love with. And I was like, oh, this is so sad. Maki's just like a really interesting character. I think it's also like sort of like the Kirigiri type thing where she's mysterious, but she's also like just a cool character, right? Strong, independent woman. I mean, I also like when she gets into fights with Kokichi. I think that's really funny. I think an ultimate assassin is a cool talent. Her backstory is also like, it's part of the main story, but it's also explored more in her free time events, and I like Maki. I like her backstory. I like her contributions in main game. Yeah, she's a good character. I like her very much. And next we have Kibo, and I actually really like Kibo too. I'm gonna put him in my A. I think Kibo's a really cute character. I don't know. I just found him really appealing. For me, his interactions with Miyu are quite funny. Although I now gotta think like, okay, so his eyes are like the audience's camera, right? So the fact that Miyu made him take photos of her poop, that means the audience at home had to look at Miyu's poop, and I'm just like, huh, that's a bit worrying. Disgusting! Apart from that, it's like, that's robophobic. Yeah, that gets a bit tired, but I still think Kibo's a funny character. RIP to Zahoge in chapter 5 that one time. I do think Kibo is just a cute character, a good boy. So he is in my A rank. And lastly, but not least, at least in my opinion, we have Tsumugi Shirogane, and here is probably another controversial opinion of mine, but I actually really like Tsumugi. She's actually an S rank, and I can hear people now being like, I can't trust Ki's opinion at all. Tsumugi sucks, she's so boring, why would you do this, I hate the ending of V3, blah 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 blah. Be quiet, this is my video, I will decide the orders that I want. And for me, Tsumugi is a fun character. I love what she represents for the Danganronpa series. She's a Danganronpa fan, and then she has like all the cosplays of the Danganronpa characters. I already had an interest in her because she was the ultimate cosplayer, so I did hang out with her in the free time events. I just find Tsumugi as a concept really fun. Personality wise, like, you've definitely met a Tsumugi at an anime convention, you know what I mean? So in a way, she does feel realistic, I suppose. But yeah, Tsumugi is one of my S rank characters, and I feel like people are going to go wild. Also, one last thing, can we just talk about the art? Some of the art in V3 just doesn't look very good. Just look at this hideous baby Kaide, and I really don't like this Rantaro sprite either. He looks super ugly in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know, it's sort of weird, huh? Well, I guess that's it. Here's my Danganronpa tier list. What do you think? I bet a lot of you disagree, but hey, maybe some of you do agree with my opinions. I would love to know what you thought about my rankings in the comments below. And hey, maybe you can tell me what you would change up. I'll leave a link to this tier maker in the description below. You can send me a screenshot of your list to my social medias and I'll check them out. That will be it for my first episode of my Danganronpa party series. Again, this is all in good fun. My opinions do not have to influence yours. Just because I think differently from you doesn't mean that one of us is incorrect. Different people have different experiences, and that dictates how they feel about different characters. This is my opinion, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, again, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the other future videos in my Danganronpa party series that will be coming up very soon. Again, this was the first time I've done this kind of video. If you have any suggestions for future videos, do let me know. I would love to do something like this again. It's been really fun. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It would just bring me so much joy if watching this video made you happy. I love talking about Danganronpa and Danganronpa characters. It'd be really cool if we could have a discussion from this kind of video. If anyone wants to start a conversation in the comments down below, I'll be sure to reply. Thank you so much for watching this far. I hope you enjoyed this video and are looking forward to my future Danganronpa party videos as well. But yeah, that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye! Yes, I intentionally made this video 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 37 seconds. Thank you.